Today, we need to have a conversation that is uncomfortable, heavy, but absolute necessity. We are talking about toxic parents and, more broadly, toxic personalities. But before we dive in, let's define what a toxic person actually is. A toxic person is not necessarily a villain in a movie. In reality, a toxic person is someone whose deeply ingrained behaviors, words, and actions consistently inflict emotional, psychological, or even physical harm on the people around them. They manipulate, control, guilt trip, or unleash unchecked anger. And here is the heartbreaking truth. Many people are not born toxic. They become toxic over the course of their lives. And who pays the highest price? The immediate family, their partners, and most tragically, their own children. We have to understand from where the toxicity comes from. I recently watched a video by an influencer that perfectly illustrates this. She opened up about her childhood, shading that her mother was incredibly toxic. If she or her sister made even the slightest mistake, their mother would beat them ruthlessly. When the mother entered that dark, aggressive phase, even the father would step back and avoid interfering just to protect himself. On the surface, she was just a cruel mother. But as the influencer grew older, she learned a piece of family history. Her mother's own mother had passed away when she was just a few months old. Think about that. This mother had never experienced a mother's love. She had no blueprint for how to nurture, comfort, or protect a child because her own cup had been empty since infancy. What she actually needed was deep psychological therapy. Instead, her unhealed trauma was weaponized against her own children. But trauma is not the only way toxicity is born. Sometimes life just wears a good person down until they break. I know a girl who was the sweetest, kindest soul you would ever meet. But when I met her again after 5 years, she shocked me. She dropped down and confessed that she had become aggressive. She was constantly yelling at her kids, apparently unable to control her temperament. From the outside, her life looked picture perfect. She had the house, the husband, the children, but no one looked closer. Over those 5 years, her body had completely changed after childbirth. She had gained weight, and she was trapped in a state of chronic, unending exhaustion. She had lost touch with all her friends. She was isolated and burned out. And because she could not safely express her frustration, her innocent children became the target of her displaced anger. So this proves that good people get pushed into toxic corners by their environment. So we have to ask ourselves the hardest question of all. Am I the one being toxic or am I the victim? If you are watching this and you recognize yourselves in these stories, if you realize you have these tendencies, I want you to take a deep breath. If you feel a wave of guilt, shame, or sadness after you hurt people around you or say mean things to your partner, that is actually a good sign. It means your conscience is alive. The absolute first step is accepting your mistake. And yes, that means apologizing to your victims. Even if they are your children, there's immense healing in looking at your child and saying, I'm so sorry, I lost my temper, and that was wrong of me. You did not deserve that. I feel guilty for hurting you. Now, the second thing is that you start tracking what pushes you over the edge. Is it hunger? Is it a messy house? Or is it a comment from your spouse? When you know your triggers, you can step away before the explosion happens. Now, the third thing is that you actively look for the good. Start breathing and appreciating the small things your children or your family members do for you. Positive reinforcement changes the neural pathways in your brain from anger to gratitude. And the fourth thing, like if you feel completely helpless, can find yourself falling back into old patterns despite trying. You cannot do this alone. Seek professional therapy. Now, in the second case, if you are the victim, how to shield yourself? If you are on the receiving end, what if you are living with a toxic parent, spouse, or family member? How do you shield yourself without destroying the family? The first thing is that you offer support and a way out. Remember the workout mother? Human beings need personal growth, appreciation, and space. If you see a family member turning toxic because they are miserable, help them. Arrange a change of scenery, get them the gym membership, encourage them to see good company, or keep over their pores. If they cross the line, do not scream back. It just feeds their toxicity. Instead, use a calm, firm, and informative tone. Look them in the eye and say, "What you are saying right now is wrong. You need to speak to me with respect and be politer." And now, 30, if you have tried soaping them, you have tried talking to them, and absolutely nothing works, you must wear a shield. Set strict emotional and physical boundaries. Do not let them cross them. If you start a toxic tirade, walk out of the room. Limit your interactions. Protect your peace at all cost, even if it means staying away as much as possible. Now, if you are a parent, the climate of your home is your responsibility. You are the architect of your children's future mental health. To create a safe environment, you need to communicate constantly with every single family member. Even if you have your own aging parents living with you, you must establish the ground rules of the house. Casually, gently, but calmly remind everyone, you are a family. You must respect each other. Our home must be built on a foundation of love, care, and mutual respect. Let's stop passing down generational trauma. Let's heal ourselves so our children don't have to spend their adulthood recovering from their childhood. Thank you for watching. If this video resonated with you, please share it with someone who might need to hear this today. Let's talk in the comments. Have you ever managed to break a toxic cycle in your life? See you in the next video.